The Nazis became a major political force in Germany throughout the 1930s. They began to purge people who they thought didn't fit in because of their religious or political beliefs or mental or physical disabilities. The victims of the regime would be sent to Dachau concentration camp, opened in 1933, 6 years before World War II started. To prove you were truly German, according to Hitler, you had to join the Nazi Party, including young people who also had to join the Hitler Youth Movement. Artists were also targeted, and the Nazis created an exhibition of modern art they called degenerate art. The Nazis used the exhibition to deride both the work and the artists who had created it. One of these artists was Kurt Schwitters, born in Hanover in 1887. This is his story.
I am Kurt Schwitters, and I knew my life would be as an artist. But, as I used to say to my friends, I don't frame my pictures, I nail them together. I would make from whatever I found on the streets.
Boys, this is where we must part. Find Uncle Kurt. He's going to Norway and will keep you safe. Karl, you will now be Klaus Schmidt, alias Gunther Schmidt. Klaus, Gunther, never ever use your real names. I made this for you. Stay safe. I'll try to find you.
Did you see that move?
I'm sure I did.
I thought you were a toy.
Yes,
You spoke.
I did.
You spoke again.
Okay, which way?
To Kurt Schwitters!
And who are you?
Oh dear.
Gunther.
Klaus.
Klaus.
Gunther.
Uncle Kurt, we need help.
Mum says you're going to Norway.
Yeah,
Can we come with you?
of course.
Now, excuse me. I need to see your papers again.
Who is who? How is how? What is what? Where is where? When is when?
This is a story about a rabbit. A rabbit with great, big, long ears. And the little rabbit hopped around the corner. It hopped around a corner where there wasn't even a corner. Because in fact, it wasn't a rabbit at all. It was a piggy. And the pig had lots and lots of little piglets. But the pig was not a pig because it was a beautiful bird that flew away. And as the bird flew away, we have the crocodile that snapped and snapped down the River Nile. And on the River Nile, there was a boat. And on the boat, there was a captain. As well as a captain on the boat, there was a beautiful lady. But oh, when the lady looked up her skirt, there was a little fly, a little gnat that nipped and nipped and nipped. But, of course, there was no such thing, because the story is about a rabbit with very long ears. It's not a story at all, is it? It's all about transformation. So therefore, it has to be a story.
Right. I need to talk with my high superiors about this.
We have to leave Germany now. There is no time to waste. We shall go to Norway, where my son Ernst awaits us. We need to go now! We stayed for 3 years in Norway, making work and having a peaceful time. Write to your mother, boys. Time to draw. And then they came. Once there was an enormous cat, and it ate and ate. Ate so much the farmer could no longer afford to feed it. And so the farmer would give it one last meal. The cat had other ideas. The Germans have invaded! We have to leave now, boys! No time to waste. Come on, boys. It's time for us to get registered.
Herr Schwitters. Klaus,
Gunther. I have to be a bearer of bad news. As we're at war with Germany, you're now classed as enemy aliens. We have to find out if you're spies or not.
I thought we were going to be safe here.
Come. We'll be fine. You have my word, I promise.
This is a camp, but they have very pleasant houses and free of charge rent. So, welcome to Hutchison's camp.
We have to find out where our mother is. She promised to get to England.
We have people working very hard to find families to reunite with their loved ones. The British Red Cross. I will personally contact them. If your mother arrives in England, then let me know. So, let's get you settled in then. Come on boys, follow me.
What's the matter, boys?
I think it's time for a story. Mr. Schwitters, I need your assistance.
This is a story about an old man, a child with no name, and the sea. Many years ago, there was a farm. It was a very lonely place. You could be there for months without seeing anybody. The lady of the house had a child. No one knew about the birth, and it wasn't welcome when it was born, and as soon as it was born, it died. The mother carried it along a narrow path, over the rocks, down to the bay, and there she buried it in the ruins of the lonely little chapel. It's been there for 1400 years or more. There, she left it alone. A short while afterwards, some fishing boats were sailing out, and the story arose that something strange was going on over at the black cliffs under the hill of the rising day. The men were fishing close to the land, under the black cliffs, when the early evening came. The boats would drift south with the flood tide, then north with the ebb tide, passing and repassing the shore. Then they'd see a light and hear a sad wailing and crying, as if from a little lost child. Finally, the light would run across the steep cliff to the old chapel and go out. The men got so frightened that eventually they wouldn't go out into the bay after dark. Things became extremely bad for the women and children at home. Because of this, one very old man, a William Quirk, who hadn't been to sea for many years, said he would go with one of the boats to sea for himself. People used to say of him, "Old William, he believes in the strength of prayer, and he's daring enough. He'll face pretty much anything." That's how it was on this occasion. His boat was the last to come in. The rest were frightened. It was a really fine, beautiful moonlit night when he was coming down from the fishing ground. When he was near the bay, he heard a lot of crying. He lay on his oars and listened, and he heard a child wailing over and over, I'm a little child without a name. Sail in closer to the land, said William when he heard it. They pulled in closer. He plainly saw a little child on the shore holding a lighted candle in its hand. Oh, God bless me, you poor thing. We must give you a name, said William. He took off his hat, stood up in the boat, and he threw a handful of water towards the child. And he shouted, "If you're a boy, I christen you John. If you're a girl, I christen you Joni." Immediately, the crying stopped and was never heard again. And the light went out and was seen no more.
Come in, Captain Daniels.
Hello, I am the bearer of marvellous news. The Red Cross has been in contact with me. Carl, Elias, your mother has safely arrived in England. She's in Hayton Camp, Liverpool, and you should join her. So, come on boys, follow me.
Uncle Kurt, thank you for your help. Here's Shellenrock to guide you. I hope you'll be free soon.
Someday. Meanwhile, I'm very comfortable here. I've a roof over my head, food, and time to make art. Now, be off with you. And say welcome to your mother.
16 months in my camp, lots of time to think. Huntington Square was his name, no time to blink. Eric, Helman, Herman, and Paul, friends I kept for life. Huntington Square was his name. This place brought strife. But artist camp, where I live, this is what I found. Huntington Square was his name. Time moves on, London I am bound. Travelling to London, the rails took me there. Happiness, art always a show. Huntington Square now left behind. Now time to let go.
London, 1942, and the bombs are raining down every night. It seems dreadful, but the Nazi machine is just taking over every country. 1945, and I'm still in London, and I still have no exhibitions, can get no entree into the Society of Arts. However, I did meet a wonderful woman, Edith. I used to nickname her Wanty.
Kurt, do you want tea? We should move to Ambleside. You've always loved it there.
That swan there swallowed my watch when I was fishing. And the police would not arrest it because they said swans belong to the king. Ha!
We can tell you a story about a swan. It began on a fellside near the lake in Grasmere. There's a little cottage, and in the cottage lived an old man. The people in the village wouldn't have anything to do with him. He was mute, and they were suspicious of him. His only friends were the animals of the forest.
When he went collecting firewood, he was followed by a line of animals. The weasel, badger, rabbit, fox, and the robin and the wren. The old man had one special friend, a swan who lived down on the lake. He so loved the swan that he called her his Lady of the Lake. Sometimes the swan waddled after him, and he would turn and stroke her beautiful neck. One day, the old man disappeared, so the animals went off to find him. Off went the line of animals. The weasel, badger, rabbit, fox, robin and wren up towards the old man's cottage.
They made a circle around the cottage as the robin flew up to the window. The old man was lying on the bed completely still.
I think he might be dead,
whispered the robin. Then the robin tapped his beak on the window 3 times, and a flicker of a smile spread across the man's face. Excited, the robin said,
"No, he's still alive, but he's desperately sick."
The animals knew they needed help. They needed the help of the wise old owl.
The robin flew off to the wood where the owl was perched on a branch. Robin told Owl of the old man's sickness. The owl advised the robin that if the old man got a visit from his special friend, his Lady of the Lake, it might cure him. Thanking the owl, the robin flew to the lake where the swan was settled on her nest. He told her of the old man's sickness. The swan climbed from her nest and started to waddle up the path towards the cottage. There was the swan, followed by the line of animals, the weasel, badger, rabbit, fox, and the robin and the wren.
They formed a circle, a magic circle. The swan waddled up to the door, pushed it open with her beak. Robin fluttered up to the window. The old man was lying on a white sheet, his face as white as the sheet he was lying on. He was completely motionless. Robin whispered to the others,
"It may be too late." "No, wait a minute. My lady is waddling over to the bed."
The swan tapped her orange bill on the old man's forehead 3 times, and he started to smile. Excitedly, the robin reported,
"We're in time! He's still alive!" Just then, the swan tore some of her feathers from her left wing and jabbed them through the skin of the old man's arm. Then she tore some out of her right wing and jabbed them through the skin of the old man's right arm. She then tore feathers from her back and jabbed them into his back. Then stroked his neck with her orange bill. It had gone magically quiet. Then the door opened and out waddled not one, but 2 swans. They waddled down to the lake, slid into the water, and swam off side by side.
They say the old man will be with his lady of the lake forever, because swans mate for life. Since that day, most of the swans in the Lake District are mute, just as the old man in our story.
Ah, hello. I'm looking for Herr Schwitters. Or should I say, Mr. Schwitters?
A man with an envelope. Mr. Schwitters might worry.
What? Oh, no, don't get the wrong idea. I'm, matter of fact, a bearer of good news. I have here these papers for him to sign for his British citizenship. What I need him to do is sign his signature on this dotted line. So, where can I find him?
You'll find him in there.
Oh, thank you very much. Have a nice day. Mr. Schwitters! Mr. Schwitters! Mr. Schwitters, hello! I fear I came too late. Mr. Schwitters has died.
I shall miss him.